Hello and welcome to EuroparlTV's Google Hangout. Under the tagline Ideas for a Better Europe, the I-2014, the European Youth event, is bringing together 5,000 young people from across the globe. Now we all know that Erasmus, the European Social Fund and the more recently added Youth Guarantee Scheme are programmes specifically designed to help young people get ahead and get work. But are they doing enough to help the 25 million unemployed young people across Europe? Does a forum like I-2014 have the ideas to unlocking the endemic problem that is youth unemployment? Well, joining me to discuss this are two people who know a lot about I-2014. Parliament's Vice President for Communication, Austrian MEP from the European People's Party, Othmar, and also Social Democrat MEP, Greek MEP, Anni Podimata. Welcome to both of you. And a big welcome to our participants also taking part in I-2014, Christoph Ans from BMW, David from the European Youth Forum and Antonis from the Youth Future think tank. I ask all of you to play fair, but play well. And for all of you watching, you can join in the debate via the hashtag EP Hangout on the Parliament's Google Plus page or on Facebook and Twitter. Okay. Mr. Karras and Ms. Podimata, now before we get down to the business end of the debate, talk to me about the I-2014 event. Ms. Podimata, would you like to go first?
Well, actually, the event we're organizing from the 9th to the 11th of Strasbourg aims at bringing together young people, young European citizens from all over Europe. And the aim is to make them speak out about their fears, their plans, their concerns, and present specific proposals on what Europe could do, what the new European Parliament could do, in order to address these concerns. So we want to encourage them to be more engaged in the design of a better Europe.
And Mr. Karras, do you think ideas can really lead to a better Europe?
Yeah, let me welcome all of you who are joining us here today at the Google Hangout to discuss the European Youth event in Strasbourg. I would like to quote the singer Bono of U2, who said earlier this year, "Europe is a thought that needs to become a feeling. A feeling indeed, we have to fill Europe with emotions." Talking about emotions, before I came here today, I passed by a stand of the European Youth Forum, one of our media partners for the European Youth event, where they present their 11 pledges and campaign for young European people called Love, Youth, Future. These are the emotions Bono was talking about. More than 130 MEPs have already signed it, and I hope more will join later. We are looking forward to seeing you in Strasbourg and to start the debate of Strasbourg today in this moment.
Okay, lovely. Thank you very much, Mr. Karras. Now, Mr. Karras there was saying that he's looking forward to seeing all of you guys there. So let's now open up the debate to everyone and of course, the participants, all of you who are taking part in I-2014. Antonis, talking about your organisation itself. Now, your organisation was born out of a similar event, the Youth Agora 2013. So, you know, your organisation talks about dictating or influencing policy. So how are you going to help your organisation to bring their ideas to the table at the I-2014?
We are having some workshops during those days in Strasbourg, organized by our think tank. Basically, try to share our ideas and call, of course, for a united and shared vision in all of the member states. That all of the member states should welcome the same principles, that there should be more internships and more paid jobs and paid opportunities for young people, of course social volunteering and encouraging entrepreneurship.
And let me ask you one thing. Do you think that internships should be paid in Europe?
Yes, this is important because it's an incentive for young people.
Antonis is very right. Firstly, in relation to your question, certainly internships have to be paid, and I think that the European institutions and the European Parliament is working to this direction, has to serve as an example to this direction. no more internships, free internships. But getting to the broader picture, and Anni's mentioned the issue of youth unemployment. This is the main topic on our I event. Is the topic that is the first among the 5 topics that are going to be dealt not only politically but also in other ways, through cultural events, for example. So unemployment in general in Europe, and especially youth unemployment, is in totally unacceptable levels. And as Andonis mentioned, in some member states, and this is the case for my country, Greece, but also for Spain, youth unemployment is above 50%. What does that mean? That means that reducing youth unemployment, creating new jobs, sustainable jobs, quality jobs, properly paid jobs, has to be, now that the most difficult part of the crisis has gone, we leave it behind, has to become an absolute priority.
If I just bring in Mr. Karas into this, what would you say is Austria's secret? I mean, the youth unemployment levels there are very low compared to, as Ms. Podimata said, Greece or Spain. So what's the secret behind Austria?
There are many different things. On the one side, our education system, I think, is a little bit better. We have a dual education system to have a partnership between companies and schools. We have the social partners. We have an agreement, a dialogue between employees and employees and the business world. And I think we have a very strong economy with small and medium-sized enterprises. And our economy is much more competitive. And our economy has a stronger industrial production. So we have to work on different places. But for the young people who asked us,
do you think that maybe youth unemployment is an issue that's maybe being tackled well at a national government level, and that, say, an event like I can maybe bring together these young people and make them feel more European, and so then, you know, that the issue of youth unemployment can be tackled on a more European level?
Both.
Both? Yeah.
The member states has to make their homework, and the real competence is in the member states. Budgetary issues, social issues, taxation issues, economic issues, the education. But on the other hand, that is our interest. The European Parliament has been very active on this and has strongly supported improving traineeships. We organized together a seminar for young people of Greece and Austria to come together to talk to another, to create new ideas.
There are lots of initiatives, but what is the problem then? I mean, why is youth unemployment so high?
The problem are the member states in this case. We have not enough money, and we have not enough money to do the right things on the European level, and we have not enough competencies. But what we are doing now is totally clear. We need more competitiveness.
Yes.
We need structural reforms, and we need money to push the member states in the right direction. And what we have done is the project of the youth guarantee. And the youth guarantee is only one step, it's not enough.
Do you think
if I may add something, I think that Othmar is absolutely right that Europe is taking all the blame, and sometimes, quite often actually, the responsibility lies in decisions taken in the national level. It's a blame game who has not benefited Europe and younger Europeans as a whole. But I think, on the other hand, that the crisis, this very severe crisis that we've passed these last 4 years, brought in the front scene inefficiencies and deficiencies in the national and in the European level, and we have to take the lessons out of this crisis.
On the Parliament's Facebook page, someone said that €6 billion is not enough to help solve youth unemployment.
It's not enough.
And then they added...
But it's a first step.
And then they added that EU and member state governments can't guarantee or create jobs. It's a useless aspiration, and money would have been better spent elsewhere. So, I mean, let me also bring in the other participants into this. I mean, what do you guys think about the Youth Guarantee scheme?
David here from the European Youth Forum. I think we are pushed for, and we're very happy to have the Youth Guarantee scheme. But we agree with the two MEPs you have there, Mr. Harris and Ms. Podimata. It's not enough, and we estimate that almost 3 times the amount of investment that has been put into the Youth Guarantee 2 years ago needs to be put in the next phase to reach the rest of the young people that have been left out of this program. We feel that the Youth Guarantee is providing opportunities for young people in some regions of Europe, people who don't have access to training or jobs or education, but there are hundreds and thousands of others that are being left out. And they need to have access to quality jobs as well.
Let me now also bring in Christoph Ans from BMW. Now, Christoph, where does Europe's success lie? We've heard a lot about, we need better education, better conditions. Where would you say the success lies, and how do we get that success?
I think it's very important to have a most possible cooperation between the education system and companies, or in general spoken, the labor market. Education has to be practice oriented, and the education programs have to take into account the demands of the labor market on the one hand, and on the other hand, companies have to be involved in designing of study programs, or cooperate with schools, so that the young people have the possibility to get insights in professional practice. At the end of the day, we need a combination of a very excellent education and the respective functional.
And Christoph, does BMW have a good graduate scheme? If we're talking about getting better contact with young people, do you have a way in which young people can work for your company?
Yes, of course. We have a lot of opportunities for both pupils and students to get in contact with us, to get professional experience within the company, and we have our own programs for students to get educated in combination with our company, and afterwards get a job at BMW.
Okay, lovely. Now, Ms. Podimata, Mr. Karras, I want to bring you into something else. Going into your backgrounds, because we're talking a lot about internships and how young people can get ahead, but obviously success isn't easy. Of course, you're both MEPs. Ms. Podimata, before you were a journalist yourself, and Mr. Karras, been looking at your bio, and you were heavily involved in youth politics. So, are the problems that young people had back then when you were sort of a youth activist, are they still the same now?
No, I think it's different. We had the biggest financial and economic crisis since the Second World War, since 2008. So on the one hand, we have to stabilize the European Union. We have to stabilize our financial sector. Our financial sector is very important to pay our real economy. 80% of the real economy is credit financed. So, and we have 80% of the European economy is our small and medium-sized enterprises. So we have a much more difficult time, but we have a time also to change the crisis, to go forward, to open the doors. And I think we are on a good way on the European level. And we gave the right answer to the crisis. And now we have to learn what can we do better in the future. And for that we organized also the European Youth Event. We need the people on board. We need the ideas of the young people. And one point more, I think we changed with the Lisbon Treaty totally the European aim. We have now one goal, the sustainable social market economy. So we changed our market model. we have a responsibility for social aspects. We have a responsibility for young people. The market has a responsibility for our environment. And in this case, we have to work for a better Europe in the next 5 years with the young people on board.
And Ms. Podimata, do you think that MEPs are aware of that and aware of this? And also one of the themes of I-2014 is having European values.
I am absolutely convinced that there is a great potential in each and every member state that has not been properly exploited so far. So if we put in the front what we do have in common and we properly exploit the potential of each and every people in each and every country in Europe, I think that we will be in a much better position to deal with the challenges of globalization and create the ground for a much better future for Europeans, especially the younger Europeans. Overall, I think that, you know, Europe needs to be renovated, and that's not only a question of aging.
I can see you smiling there. Have you got something to add to what Ms. Podimata just said?
Yes, thank you very much. I completely agree with Ms. Podimata's point. And I really like the phrase that Europe needs to be renovated.
Yes.
And this should be the motto. I agree.
Are you going to take that now?
But you need to be engaged for that. It's not us that we are going to do it. It's all of us together, and especially younger people.
In order for us to be engaged, the European institutions should promote tools to enhance youth policy. And they should encourage and create platforms for information sharing, for training and career opportunities. And for example, this event, the event to be organized in May, as we talked, shouldn't be seen as this huge event right before the elections. It should be something constant, something where young people can come and have a contact with these institutions and show their opinions. So we wanted to ask, what actions are you proposing to fight youth unemployment, and how are you planning to convince the youth to join these discussions and, of course, help you in renovating Europe?
We are considering the idea to establish
an
the
idea
event.
of a digital revolution. Is that the key? I mean, that's also one of the themes of the I-2014, this digital revolution. I'll give you guys a question from Anne in Brussels. And what she said is the digital revolution is mainly an American one. At least the intermediaries like Google, Facebook, Apple, Microsoft. So where is Europe in all of this? Are we sort of lagging behind?
Firstly, I have to say we have a clear program what we are doing after the youth event. We will invite the young people who chair the different working groups in the next period to the special committees of the European Parliament to discuss the results, to discuss the ideas, to discuss the different critics of the young people in the specific committees of the European Parliament, with the parliamentarians who will be elected at the 22 and the 25. And to your question, we have a total different system in Europe. The sustainable social market economy is different to the free market economy. Our system of healthcare, of social stability is different to the United States. Our environmental policy is different to the United States. Our financial market is a decentralized market and not only an investment market.
For example, on the I programme, one of the events is called Microsoft Codes Your Future. And it says, under the umbrella of Microsoft Youth Spark, this workshop will introduce participants to the basics of coding, a skill which is highly relevant to today's job market, but rarely found in the aptitudes of young Europeans. So what is going wrong here?
We will find the European way.
Yes.
And what is the European way?
The European way is a sustainable social market economy. The European way is a political responsibility not only a responsibility of the market. The European way is a political responsibility for social stability, for health care. That is the European way. A political responsibility for the future of our environment. We are much stronger economically, socially, healthily as the United States of America. And I think with the European Youth Event, we are creating a new participation model for young people to influence the European policy.
And we do have some American champions, as you mentioned, Google, for example. We are in a Google Hangout.
The European Google.
But
European Google, yes.
We can, yes, we can. I mean, I think this is a challenge for Europe in relation with all our discussion. How do we make Europe more competitive? We have to work to that direction, take it full profit, full advantage of the means and tools that the digital era is providing to us. And internet, for example, Othmar mentioned the startups before. We have excellent examples of internet startups, and we are looking very much forward to encourage and to build on that. So it's not, you know, to demonize everything that comes from abroad. It's taking good lessons and try to build on that.
Okay, now
our vision is the European Union must be more competitive as the United States, but the United States are our partners.
Yes.
Okay, well, we're going to have to leave it there because unfortunately we have run out of time. You can always watch the Hangout rerun on EuroparlTV's website. Just go to europarltv.europa.eu. I want to thank all of our participants and, of course, MEPs, Othmar and Anni Podimata, from myself, Mariam Zaidi, and the rest of the team at EuroparlTV. Thanks for watching and bye-bye.
Looking forward to seeing you.